Hello everyone, this is Angela and welcome to my channel. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notifications bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. So let's get into it. Herschel Walker, one thing I can say about him is that he surely does know how to make headlines. He's made headlines from the time that he won a Heisman Trophy back in the day, as well as how well he played football back in the day. He also made headlines around the mid 80s to late 80s when he was playing with the Dallas Cowboys because he decided at that time to go into ballet. Nowadays, he's making headlines as he's going into politics. People, listen closely. This is a public service announcement. If you have some skeletons in your closet, if you have some secrets that you want to keep in the dark, the absolute last thing that you want to do is get into politics here in the United States of America. That's like freaking inviting crime scene investigators into your freaking closet to see your entire graveyard filled with skeletons. Okay? And not only that, it's like inviting crime scene investigators into your closet, and outside your closet is going to be a mobile crime lab parked outside its door. So if you're going to go into politics, you cannot have skeletons in your closet because they will be found out. So today, Herschel Walker's name is floating around on Beyonce's internet due to an abortion that he allegedly paid an ex-girlfriend to have back in 2009. Child, let's look at this news story. Hold on. Look.
Just weeks before the midterm election, new allegations have surfaced that could affect the Georgia Senate race. The Daily Beast reports that back in 2009, Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker allegedly paid his then girlfriend's, or rather paid for his then girlfriend's abortion. Now, he vehemently denies the report, calling it, quote, a flat out lie. The former NFL player has previously called for a ban on abortions. Congressional correspondent Nicole Killian is in Washington with more on this. Nicole, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, Anne-Marie and Vlad. Herschel Walker's son posted a scathing reaction, including a video a short time ago after this story broke.
Oh, yes. His son did. He posted 2 videos, and we are going to go in on them shortly.
Meantime, Herschel Walker says he plans to sue the media outlet that wrote this story, calling it a defamatory lie.
Right now, I'm for life, and I'm not going to make an excuse for it.
Georgia Republican Senate candidate Herschel Walker says he is pro-life and supports a nationwide abortion ban with no exceptions.
I believe in life, and there's no excuses about it. As I believe in life. I don't think I want to go into what it includes because who knows.
You know why these people have their heads up in the clouds about making babies? It's because they're not the ones that are making the sacrifices for them. They're cool with making the babies, but they're not cool with making the sacrifices. Okay? And see, hear me out here. Hear me out. Because I'm about to say something that may trigger some people. But this is why I advocate that, especially, if men leave the mother of their child, then they should take the child with them. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Here's why I'm saying this. Because by the time that man has CPS or Child Protective Services knocking on his door because the baby has a diaper rash from them not being properly changed, okay, because they have some nutrient deficiency because they're not being properly fed, or by the time that father gets accused of developmental neglect because the child is of a certain age and is not progressing as he or she ought to be progressing, okay? And it's not because the child has any deficiencies cognitively, but it's because simply no one is spending the time that they need to spend with that child. And let's be real, it could genuinely be due in part because the dad would have to work 2 jobs in order to pay for the child, okay? And he as a single parent doesn't have enough time to contribute to that child's development. By the time they go through that, they will be begging for the mother to take the child back. In fact, they'll be dropping the child off to the mother. A lot of them that do have custody, they tend to drop that child off to an older aunt or to a grandmother anyway. See, what I'm saying is that the men in particular that create these children, women that they knew that they didn't want to be the mother of their child, okay? They need to be the parent to that child. See, Herschel Walker allegedly owned up to having these kids, these outside children that he did not raise. That's why he can be so poetic about being pro-life. And I know some of you are going to ask where I stand, so here's where I stand. I am pro-responsibility for those who are going to ask me. See, it doesn't matter to me what you do with your life. If you choose to keep the child, fine. If you don't, then I'm fine with that too. But I am pro being freaking a responsible adult either way. So let's get back to this video.
But new reporting from the Daily Beast, which has not been independently confirmed by CBS News, claims he encouraged a woman he was dating in 2009 to get an abortion and help pay for it. The woman, whose identity was not published, provided the Daily Beast with a receipt for the procedure, a get well card, and an image of a $700 check allegedly signed by Walker.
It is a flat-out lie.
Walker denied the allegations on Fox News Monday night.
But I can tell you right now, I never asked anyone to get an abortion. I never paid for an abortion. They think they can threaten me. They think they can scare me. Right now, all that done is has energized me more that I'm going to fight and win this seat for the great people of Georgia.
The Trump-backed nominee and former football star is taking fire from his own family. Walker's son Christian, a right-wing influencer, posted, "I know my mom and I would really appreciate if my father, Herschel Walker, stopped lying and making a mockery of us."
So he hid that he had extra kids, and now one of those children are accusing him of lying. My goodness, let's continue.
Walker's opponent, Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock, isn't really weighing in on this controversy as of yet, but in a sign of just how competitive this race is, new fundraising numbers show that he raised more than $26 million in the last 3 months. Walker's camp has yet to report its latest numbers. Anne-Marie, Vlad?
I know, Herschel Walker's had a number of stumbles through this whole thing. It doesn't really seem to be affecting at least as much of the support that he gets from Republicans. But I don't know, do we have a sense of what kind of impact this could have on the race?
Well, I think it's a little too early to say in terms of this story, obviously, since it just came out, and in terms of Senator Warnock, while he didn't comment on the situation, he was asked about it at an event yesterday and said he's going to leave it up to the pundits to decide what impact, if any, this could have on the race. And that really just remains to be seen. We know both of these candidates are set to debate later this month, so that will be yet another telling indicator, and perhaps this issue could resurface. And, in terms of Walker overall, this is the latest in a string of controversies that has really dogged the Republican candidate, particularly in terms of his past. He's been questioned about how many children he has. He's been accused of domestic violence against his ex-wife. And some of those things he has owned up to and said that he is accountable and has acknowledged, that he has 4 children. He has said in terms of the domestic violence issues that have been raised against him that, he has suffered in the past with mental illness and is accountable for his actions. But that being said, when you talk to voters on the ground, I was just in Georgia, many, at least thus far, have been willing to look past some of his past transgressions and faults. But again, this is yet another allegation. And again, we'll just have to see how it plays with voters in the coming weeks.
Well, the other thing, Nicole, that we're watching, right, is he's threatened to sue the Daily Beast. He says he's going to do that today. Of course, that would leave him open to discovery. And you pointed out one of the tweets from his son. Here's another one. I don't care. I'm quoting.
Please, please, please let Herschel Walker file that lawsuit so that the digging in his background can begin. I'm popping my popcorn for this one, y'all.
I don't care about someone who had a bad past and takes accountability, but how dare you lie and act as though you are some moral Christian upright man? You've lived a life of destroying other people's lives. How dare you? That's a tweet from his son. And he had a very simple response. Right? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he goes at length in this new video that he just posted as well, really talking about the fact that one of the reasons that he is speaking out now is that he said that he has been quiet up to this point and he doesn't want to be quiet anymore. He has talked about his father being an absentee father and how that's impacted him personally. And again, saying that this is one of the reasons that he is being very vocal about this case now.
Family values. Yeah. That's one of the things he's running on. Right. Nicole, thank you very much.
You bet.
Ooh. Wow. Okay, let's get into what the Sun has to say. Now that we've seen the news story and we know what this is about, let's see what the Sun has to say. This is Herschel Walker, and y'all, I am going to let him do the talking.
I stayed silent as the atrocities committed against my mom were downplayed. I stayed silent when it came out that my father, Herschel Walker, had all these random kids across the country, none of whom he raised. And you know my favorite issue to talk about is father absence. Surprise, because it affected me.
See what I was saying earlier? People who are all right with creating a life but not taking care of that life are just simply irresponsible, and they want to be unaccountable, and that's just not right. So it's better to leave them with the responsibilities and make them make the sacrifices. Leave them with those responsibilities that they think are so fantastic and wonderful until that responsibility is waking them up every 2 hours to be changed and fed and clothed and burped and played with. And no, don't come for me. I do love children. I think babies are wonderful. My unpopular opinion on this topic is that people, men especially, need not to have sex with women that they do not intend to marry, especially without using protection. And the reason why I'm harping on the men a little bit is because most times it's the men coming up and asking us for our phone numbers and taking us out on dates and whatnot. You understand? It's not typically the other way around. So men, if she's not the one, and you know it, you know when she's not the one. So if she's not the one for you, then perfectly fine. Don't sleep with her, especially unprotected. That's all I'm saying. And no, ladies, I'm not letting you off the hook either. If a man is not committed, let him find a bottle of lotion or a jar of petroleum jelly and let him do his magic with his hand, okay? Because that is too much pain and anguish to go through for someone who has no intentions of being by your side and helping you with the responsibility that they helped you to create, okay? So that's how I feel about that. Let's go on and listen to the rest of what Christian has to say.
That's why I talk about it all the time, because it affected me. Family values, people. He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I was silent, lie after lie after lie. The abortion card drops yesterday. It's literally his handwriting in the card. They say they have receipts, whatever. He gets on Twitter. He lies about it. Okay, I'm done.
Now, wait a minute. Now, the Sun just said that it's literally Herschel's handwriting on the card. Oh my gosh. But in the news story, Herschel said it wasn't him. So he's in front of us yelling pro-life without exception to incest or the R word. But when he allegedly, thinks that no one is looking, he is going into the dark alleyways and the low places and doing the very things that he claims that he's against. Y'all, let's get through this video.
Done. Everything has been a lie. And so for the right to say I'm being suspicious for saying, hey, I'm done with the lies, when you all have been calling me saying, is this true about your dad? Gosh, we're not going to win Georgia, this candidate, all. That's been you. You have no idea what I've been through in my life. You have no idea what me and my mom have survived. We could have ended this on day 1. We haven't. I haven't told any stories. I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives. And then for people on the left to act as though I'm responsible for all of the things that he has done. I've talked about father. I've talked all these issues because they've been close to me, because they matter to me, because I went through it. That's why I've talked about it. So when you say, well, talk about your dad, but I'm saying this behavior is atrocious. Don't come for me. You don't have to like my apology. You don't have to like me. You don't have to. I'm just saying I'm done with the lies. We were told at the beginning of this, he was going to get ahead of his past, hold himself accountable, all of these different things, and that would have been fine. Go ahead. He didn't do any of that. Everything's been a lie. Everything's been downplayed. Everything's been cutting corners. The whole thing. And whose expense is that at? Me, my mom, as we're chased down by the media, we're terrorized, all these different things. People are questioning my authenticity. I'm done. Don't lie. Don't put this on me. This is a candidate issue, not a me issue. I wouldn't have spoken out if there weren't all these lies every day.
I am Team Christian Walker, y'all. So that's it for the first video that he posted on Twitter. Let's get into the second video.
And just two more things I have to address, and then I'm done with this buffoonery nutjob land. This is atrocious. People on the right are pulling up that I did a campaign event with my dad last year, and they're saying, well, you supported them all last year and all this year. You look suspicious. No. You all have been calling me saying, why aren't you on the campaign trail with your dad? Why aren't you helping him out? This looks weird. You should go help him. And I've said to you calmly, I'm not getting involved. You don't know my family life. I did one event last year when we were told he was going to get ahead of his past and hold himself accountable. None of that happened. Everything's been a lie. So for me to tell you I'm not getting involved, and then you also be flooding my DMs and calling me saying, I didn't know all this about your dad, we're going to lose the Senate race. And then when I simply say, I'm done with the lies, you go, well, Christian looks suspicious. Excuse me? I haven't told one story about what I experienced with him. I'm just simply saying, don't lie. And then for certain political pundits to be pulling up old pictures I posted of my dad, thinking they can police and determine what my relationship with my dad was. If you want to pull stuff up, I'll pull stuff up. Don't try me. Don't test my authenticity.
Oh, snap. So, hey, Christian put it all out there. I mean, for those of you who have been on my channel for a little while, you know that I have some videos about polygamy and what it truly looks like, at least from an economical perspective. So here's what it looks like from a personal perspective. Christian Walker was a person who was born to a de facto polygamous father, and that would be Herschel Walker. And look at how he is faring. Look at how upset he is. Look at what it's done to him. So you know what? I invite Christian Walker to bring up all of the dirt that he's had to endure so that he can also heal from the hurt that he's experienced. Okay, let's continue.
All of this has been a lie, and you've known it. You've known. So don't you dare. And then to the left, who says, well, he did all this to your mom and you were still with them, and that's weird. You know nothing about my life. My parents went through a dirty divorce. I went through a lot as a child, and you don't know anything. You don't know the ebbs and flows of our relationship. Nobody knows anything. So for everyone making these wild theories and whatever, that's crazy. This is about a bunch of lies. Again, if I had an issue with whatever, I could have ended this day. That's not my intention. My intention is don't lie about your life at the expense of me, my mom, and all of the people that you've affected throughout your life. You don't get to pretend you're some moral family guy. You don't get to pretend all these things. Talk policy, talk normal. Do not lie.
I have lost count of the number of times that Christian Walker said not to lie. I mean, this is coming from his own flesh and blood. This is coming from his own flesh and blood, who is calling out Herschel Walker as well as some other folks over not being honest. So personally, I think Herschel Walker needs to focus on issues that are closer to home than to position himself into being a senator where he can impact what happens in the rest of our homes. Herschel, clean up your own house before you go to the House of Representatives, okay? So that's all I have for now. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the notifications bell so that you'll know whenever I upload any new content. Take care until next time.